Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to confront a really profoundly disturbing case. One that sent shockwaves, well, globally, actually.
Yeah, and it forced this small coastal community to, really grapple with racial intolerance.
We're talking about the killing of Ahmaud Arbery.
Mm-hmm.
And the video of his final moments, which was recorded by one of the defendants, it just amplified the tragedy, brought intense scrutiny.
It really did.
So our mission with this deep dive is to try and unpack the sequence of events, the legal challenges, and the broader societal implications.
Yeah, the ripple effects.
Exactly. And we're drawing directly from the court TV source material, Victim to Verdict, the Ahmaud Arbery case.
And we're here to, guide you through these complexities, connect the specific, often quite disturbing details to that bigger picture. Justice perception. What's really striking about this case, I think, is how a series of, seemingly small incidents, but fueled by assumptions.
Right, assumptions.
How they could just escalate into something so tragic.
So let's set the scene. Picture Brunswick, Georgia. It's a small, southern, coastal city, population less than 20,000.
Often described as, eclectic, kind of laid back.
Yeah. And then about 5 miles away, you're a smaller waterway, you got Satia Shores.
Quieter subdivision.
Right. Quiet, serene. You see the Spanish moss, the live oaks. It's that kind of place. Multi-class neighborhood, mostly white, but not entirely. You've got retirees, young couples.
A mix. Many houses backing up to the marsh there.
And this interesting detail about the street layout is basically a loop.
Yeah, you drive in, you can end up right back where you started. It matters later.
It does. And it's tucked away, unincorporated part of Glenn County.
So within this neighborhood on Satua Drive, there was this property, a nearly half-acre waterfront lot.
Okay.
It was bought back in June 2016 by an out-of-towner, Larry English. He wanted to build his dream home. But health reasons came up, and the project just stalled. Stayed unfinished for years.
So an open construction site, basically. Unprotected.
Exactly. So Larry, he decided to install motion-activated surveillance cameras. They'd ping his phone remotely if there was movement.
Makes sense. And did they pick anything up?
Oh, yeah. It didn't take long. The alerts started coming in.
What kind of things?
Cameras caught various people, a man and a woman once, some kids. Okay. And then this man, who was later identified as Ahmaud Arbery.
How many times did he show up?
On 4 separate occasions, according to the source.
4 times. But crucially.
Nothing was ever stolen, nothing damaged. That's key.
So trespassing, essentially.
Right. But Larry English reported these trespassers to the police, and the video, it also got posted online, alerted the neighbors.
Including the McMichaels family.
Yes, the McMichaels. They lived just a few doors down from the English property. Same side of the street.
And who were they?
Gregory McMichael, he was 64, a retired investigator for the local sheriff's office, actually. Lived there with his wife, Allison, and their son, Travis.
Travis was
34. A mechanic, had experience in the Coast Guard, too. Now, there's some important context here. It wasn't just the trespassing videos buzzing around.
What else was going on?
Well, Travis McMichael had recently reported one of his handguns stolen.
Stolen? From where?
From his pickup truck,
Right.
which apparently Gregory had left unlocked.
Okay.
So you have the stolen gun, combined with these trespasser reports. It definitely contributed to this growing sense of, concern, vigilance maybe.
Yeah, a heightened sense of unease in Satia Shores by February 2020.
Definitely.
So when you look at this initial setup, this quiet neighborhood seems idyllic on the surface, right?
Right.
But underneath these seeds of concern, this growing unease, what are the key things that strike you? What stands out as foundational?
Well, it's that immediate jump, isn't it? Straight to suspicion, surveillance, even for what seems like minor trespassing. And then you add the stolen gun into that mix. It created this potent combination of fear and maybe a feeling of needing to, do something, take action.
Right. Among some residents, anyway.
Exactly. It really set the stage for how they might react to perceived threats, whether there were actual facts to back it up or not.
And that leads us right back to Larry English's cameras, capturing an Ahmaud Arbery.
It does.
Okay, let's shift focus now. Let's talk about Ahmaud Arbery himself.
Okay.
February 23rd, 2020. Sometime just afternoon.
Yeah.
Ahmaud Arbery, who was 25, left his house on foot.
And he lived about 2 miles away from Satia Shores, right? Across the highway.
Yeah, with his mother, Juana Cooper Jones. She'd actually just left a few days before on a work trip. And she shared this really poignant detail about the last time she saw him. Went to his room, told him she was leaving,
Always said, "I love you."
Yeah, she said, I love you. He said, I love you too. That was it, the last time.
Wow. Prosecutors said that when he left home that Sunday, he was going for a run.
Something he did all the time, apparently.
Yeah, deeply ingrained. Friends said, unless it was pouring rain down outside, Ahmaud was going to be running.
Like a kind of freedom for him.
That's what they said. He did it often, tried to get friends to join him. And his running attire, it was pretty informal. Basketball sneakers, maybe khaki shorts, a polo shirt.
Not like head-to-toe running gear.
No, not typically.
Yeah.
Ahmaud Marquez Arbery, born May 8th, 1994, youngest of 3.
They called him Quez.
Right, affectionately. Described as very compassionate, the baby of the family, and the life of the party. Always trying to make people laugh.
He played football too, right?
Ooh, Brunswick High School.
Yeah, made a name for himself there. Teammates like Justin Coleman, who went on to the NFL, remembered him as a comedian.
But serious on the field.
Gave everything on the field, they said. Had dreams, like a lot of kids, of making it big in football. Though his coach apparently knew his size might make that tough.
Mm-hmm. After high school, he went away to college.
Yeah, South Georgia Technical College. About 3 hours away. Stayed for maybe a year and a half.
Then came back home?
Returned home. And according to his mother, he, quote, made some bad choices, had some challenges, some run-ins with police.
What kind of thing? Well, the source mentions being caught with a handgun on school property back in 2013, and then about 5 years later, shoplifting in 2018.
Okay.
But by late 2019, things seemed to be looking up a bit.
Oh, yeah.
His family said he was working at McDonald's and talking about going back to school, wanted to become an electrician.
Like his brothers.
Exactly. Like his 3 brothers. He'd often work with them during the summers.
So back to February 23rd, 2020, just afternoon. Arbery leaves his house, presumably for one of his regular runs.
And he ends up in Satilla Shores. We see him on home security video there.
And he's walking at this point, right? Not jogging. Some people made a point of that detail.
Yeah, walking up Satilla Drive. And then he enters Larry English's unfinished house.
The one with the cameras. How long was he inside?
About 4 minutes.
Again, took nothing. Damaged nothing.
Correct. The prosecution really hammered this point, said, he had no burglary tools, no burglary bag, no burglary mask. He had a T-shirt and shorts on.
And they were very clear. Trespassing, as far as I know, is not a capital offense.
Exactly. A critical distinction for them. Because the defense would later try to frame this whole thing under Georgia's citizen's arrest law.
Arguing they were stopping a suspected criminal.
Right. But the prosecution pushed back hard, said, look, mere trespassing with zero signs of intent to commit a felony, that just doesn't justify this kind of extreme response.
What did his family think he was doing in the house?
Their interpretation was, well, he was just exploring. It was an open construction site. And maybe, connecting with his interest in becoming an electrician.
Like looking at the wiring?
Yeah, he's just sort of following the wiring was how they put it.
Okay. So this is where things take that critical, tragic turn. Arbery leaves the house, starts running up Satilla Drive.
Probably unaware he's being watched. There's a man across the street, kind of behind a tree, who's been watching him and has called 911.
And that 911 call itself is ambiguous.
Very. The operator keeps asking, I just need you to tell me, what is he doing wrong? And the caller couldn't really say. It's still unclear exactly what was said or observed initially.
So Arbery's running up the street.
Passes the McMichael's house. Gregory McMichael is out front, working on his boat, sees him run past.
And Gregory's reaction?
Immediate. Runs inside, tells his son Travis, get your gun.
Wow.
Gregory grabs his own gun, a .357 Magnum revolver. Travis gets a 12-gauge shotgun, a Remington pump action.
And their perceived motivation. The prosecution argued,
Starkly put, they profiled him based on race. And the description of the weapon Travis chose, it was powerful.
What was said?
When you get a shotgun, that's what they use to put an elephant down when they escape from a zoo. Really paints a picture of the firepower involved.
So father and son are now in their truck pursuing Arbery.
Yes. And that's when William Roddy Bryan gets involved.
How does he come into it?
He sees the chase happening. He's out on his porch or something, shouts out to them, y'all need help.
And they respond.
They kind of nod, yeah. So he jumps in his own truck and just joins the pursuit.
Without knowing why they're chasing him.
That's the critical observation made in the source. He has no idea why they're chasing him, but he just joins right in. And then the commentary, I'm not going to go try to help the black guy.
So Bryan is now actively part of this.
Very actively involved. According to the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, he actually tries to block Arbery, runs him toward a ditch at one point.
He gets around him.
Gets around him, yeah. And at another point, his truck actually makes contact with Ahmaud, hits him, forces him back into the neighborhood loop.
So Arbery's been running for how long at this point? Trying to get out.
Almost 4 minutes. And he's trapped, essentially, because of that loop street layout we mentioned.
Right.
As the source puts it, if he turns right, he's just going to end up going in circles. If he turns left, he's out of the neighborhood and he's free. But he's being forced back.
So the final confrontation is building. Arbery's running back down Holmes Road, away from Brian, but towards the McMichaels again.
Right. Greg McMichael actually decides to call 911 himself at this point. Meanwhile, Roddy Bryan has his cell phone out. He's recording.
Capturing what happens next.
Capturing Arbery running towards the McMichaels' stop truck. Travis is outside the driver's side door, holding the shotgun. Gregory's in the bed of the truck, still on the phone with 911.
And you can hear them yelling on the video.
Yeah, that tense dialogue. Stop right there. Bleep, I said stop.
So what does the video show in those final seconds?
Well, slowed down, you see Ahmaud Arbery approach the truck. He veers right towards the passenger side. Seems like he's trying to go around Travis and the shotgun.
Okay.
But as Arbery comes around the front of the truck, he appears to lunge towards Travis McMichael and the shotgun. That's when the first shot is fired.
Greg McMichael drops his phone then.
Drops the phone, grabs his own gun. Arbery and Travis are struggling over the shotgun now.
A physical fight.
Yes. The second shot is fired, kind of out of frame. Then the third and final shot. Ahmaud Arbery staggers a few steps, then falls to the ground.
And the interpretation of why Arbery lunged or what exactly happened there, that was heavily debated.
Hugely contested. The defense perspective was, Ahmaud, for whatever reason, charges straight at Travis McMichael, who has a shotgun in his hand, and starts trying to pull it away. Self-defense for Travis.
But the prosecution's view.
Their view is different, more like Ahmaud Arbery just tries to push the gun away from him that's facing him. Maybe he thought he was quick enough, strong enough, if the shotgun is right in his face, to push it away, a desperate act.
So this whole chaotic 4-minute chase, fueled by assumptions, escalating to vigilantism, what does it ultimately reveal? The tragic consequences.
I mean, it starkly highlights how quickly suspicion, especially when, potentially tinged with bias, can morph into active armed pursuit.
Yeah.
The McMichaels acted on what they believed was a justified citizen's arrest, but it became this relentless chase of an unarmed man.
And the tragedy is that contrast, right? Their perceived authority versus his desperate fight for his life.
Absolutely. Culminating in this incredibly violent confrontation that you just have to think could likely have been avoided entirely.
So it's just after 1:55 p.m., February 23rd, 2020. Ahmaud Arbery is lying on the street, dying.
The first Glynn County police officer arrives almost immediately. He actually heard the gunshots.
Okay.
But what's profoundly disturbing, looking back at the body cam footage and accounts, is that Arbery is still moving. You can see him moving his leg, taking a breath.
But no one's helping him.
Nobody is administering first aid. That's the quote. He's essentially bleeding out on the pavement while the focus seems to be elsewhere.
The second officer arrives. Does he try to help?
He does. You hear him say, man, he's still breathing. He asks for a first aid kit. He's told, I ain't got no first aid kit for none of that.
Wow.
So the officer determines, nothing I can do for this gentleman. He sees what looks like a shotgun slug to the center chest.
Arbery stopped breathing soon after.
A couple of minutes after that second officer arrived, yes, pronounced dead right there at the scene.
And the officers, with their body cameras still rolling, they turn their attention to the McMichaels and Brian.
Yes. And they immediately start giving their versions of events.
Travis McMichael. What's his immediate action?
He brings up his stolen gun again.
The one taken from the truck.
Yeah. Even though, as the source notes, it's not clear that there's any connection between Ahmaud Arbery and the stolen gun, he just brings it up like it somehow justifies things.
In Roddy Bryan.
He explains his part in the chase, and there's this chilling detail. He apparently laughs at one point when asked if chasing Arbery was the right thing to do.
A laugh.
Yeah. It's noted in the source material.
Okay, so let's connect this to the bigger picture of that initial police response. There's this analysis of the officer's comfort level with the McMichaels.
Right. The point being made is, typically, if you arrive at a scene like this, 2 armed men, a victim bleeding to death, you'd expect more urgency, maybe. More concern from the police about what might happen next.
But that wasn't the case here.
It seemed, based on the footage and reports, that they were very understanding. Even some consoling of Travis McMichael having been the shooter.
Consoling him.
Yeah. There's a direct quote from an officer to Travis. I can only imagine. You're okay, sir. I hope I never have to understand what you feel right now.
It's just striking. So much focus on the shooters, seemingly less on the man dying on the road.
What about the dead man on the road? Why is there a dead man unarmed? That's the question raised.
Meanwhile, Gregory McMichael is making sure everyone knows his background.
Oh, yeah. He makes sure officers know he was chief investigator with the DA's office for 23 years. Says things like, I know what you got to do.
And he makes a call.
Calls the acting district attorney, Jackie Johnson, who is his former boss.
And asks them not to handcuff Travis.
Explicitly asks officers not to handcuff his son when they take him in for questioning.
And the police response?
No. Why would he be in cuffs?
Wow.
It really reinforces that perception, doesn't it? That it certainly does look like it's completely a game to the system, where who you know matters immediately.
So what happened next? Were they arrested?
About 2 hours later, the McMichaels were taken to the police department. But the Brunswick DA's office, Jackie Johnson's office, advised investigators that no arrests are necessary.
No arrests necessary.
Both men were free to go home that same day.
That immediate outcome.
Yeah.
It really illustrates how those local connections, that system, can just obstruct the path to accountability right from the start, doesn't it?
Creates that perception, yeah, a system potentially stacked against certain people.
So in the days following Ahmaud's death, his mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, she's dealing with unimaginable pain, grief.
But her instincts kick in. She said she knew something was off.
The story they told her about him being shot during a burglary.
It just didn't make sense to her. She needed answers.
So what were her first steps?
She called the local DA's office in Brunswick, Jackie Johnson's office.
The one Gregory McMichael used to work for.
Exactly. So Jackie Johnson immediately recused herself, cited the conflict of interest.
Okay, that seems appropriate.
She then contacted George Barnhill, the DA in nearby Wayne County, and he took the case.
And Barnhill's assessment.
Incredibly swift. By noon the very next day, he had essentially declared that he sees no evidence that the 3 white men acted inappropriately in chasing or killing Ahmaud Arbery.
The next day. Wow. What did he tell Wanda?
Told her the case was basically closed, pending toxicology and autopsy reports.
And he ordered toxicology tests.
Multiple tests, yes, but only on Arbery, not on the McMichaels or Brian.
And the results.
All came back negative. No drugs or alcohol.
How did Wanda react to Barnhill basically shutting the door?
She was defiant. She recalled him telling her, very bluntly, "Ma'am, all I can tell you is your son was shot more than once with a shotgun."
Jeez.
And she replied, "I just want to remind you that I'm not going anywhere." He apparently responded very nonchalantly, "Who told you to go anywhere?"
You can feel the family's frustration just building, no information for weeks.
Weeks, and the police report, when it finally came out, it basically just wrote down what the McMichaels said happened, and they wrote that down as the facts.
So Barnhill eventually recused himself too.
After several weeks, yes. He stated that his son worked in the Glynn County DA's office with Jackie Johnson, another conflict,
So the case moves again.
to a third prosecutor, Thomas Durden. But the family remained very distrustful. They felt all the prosecutors in that region knew each other.
So the case just stalls.
Stalled for over 2 months. Got very little media attention initially. Remember, this was early 2020. The coronavirus pandemic was just exploding, dominating all the headlines.
Right. Everything else got pushed aside.
Until early May 2020. Then, a dramatic shift.
The video.
Roddy Bryan's cell phone video. The footage of Ahmaud Arbery's death surfaced online, went viral almost instantly.
Had Wanda seen it before?
Only still shots, apparently. This is the first time the full horrific video was widely seen.
And the impact.
Huge. The really alarming thing, as the source points out, is that so many people saw it before it leaked. Investigators, DAs.
And no one made a move to charge them.
No one made an immediate move to escalate this to charges. It was only a leak to the public that actually changed everything.
The public reaction must have been intense.
Immediate. Powerful. Going viral tonight. Everyone is talking about it. Just this instant wave of emotion. People feeling something very wrong happened here.
There was that powerful quote, too.
Yeah. The most dangerous thing in America is the imagination of white people when it comes to people that look like me. Really resonated.
And the legal consequences after the video leak.
Swift. The case was taken away from the local prosecutors, given to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the GBI.
A fourth prosecutor.
The fourth prosecutor took over, and within weeks, all 3 men were charged with murder.
It really demonstrates the power of that visible evidence, doesn't it? and public pressure.
Absolutely. It shows how transparency, how public outcry can be that crucial catalyst for justice, especially when the initial system response seems, well, inadequate.
The video just cut through the ambiguity.
Presented an undeniable visual account, forced a reevaluation, challenged that initial narrative that let the suspects walk free. It underscores that sometimes, external pressure is needed to get the wheels of justice turning properly.
So the trial was held the following year.
Yeah.
Back in Brunswick, Georgia, Glynn County Courthouse.
And it drew massive attention. People came from all over. High-profile figures, African-American pastors like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton.
Why such a presence?
Advocacy groups bussed people in. They wanted eyes on the process, wanted to ensure accountability. The atmosphere was incredibly intense, so much attention.
I mean, even higher stakes.
Yeah, described as sort of like an athlete on steroids. It's stronger, it's bigger, it's faster, it's more difficult.
And the prosecution's main argument?
It boiled down to assumptions. That all three defendants did everything they did based on assumptions. Not on facts, not on evidence, on assumptions.
And those assumptions led to?
Decisions made in their driveways that ultimately took a young man's life. That was the core message.
And on that first day of trial, Wanda Cooper Jones saw the full video for the first time.
Yeah, a deeply painful moment. She had intentionally avoided it. You could hear her reaction in the courtroom, audibly crying, and then had to leave.
Just heartbreaking. The defendants, they had separate lawyers.
Yeah.
Different strategies.
Right. 3 defendants, 3 attorneys, slightly different narratives. For Travis McMichael, the shooter, the main defense was self-defense.
The argument being?
It's tragic that Ahmaud Arbery lost his life, but at that point, Travis McMichael is acting in self-defense, claiming Arbery attacked him, tried to take the gun.
Now, how was race handled inside the courtroom?
That was a key strategic point. While race was obviously central to the discussion outside the courthouse.
It wasn't explicitly allowed inside.
Largely, no. It wasn't framed as a hate crime trial in the state case. However, investigators did find evidence of racism.
Linked to who?
Both Travis McMichael and Roddy Bryan. But the prosecution chose not to introduce most of it in the state trial.
What kind of evidence?
Things came out later, or through other reports, Travis making racist comments, like enjoying being on his boat because there were no, quote, N-words on it.
Awful.
And even worse comments like things would be better if they'd blown that bleep N-word's head off.
Just horrific language. And Roddy Bryan claimed he heard something too.
This is chilling. Bryan told investigators that after the shooting, before the police arrived, while Arbery was on the ground.
Still alive.
Bryan claimed he heard Travis McMichael say, bleep N-word.
So those might have been the last words Ahmaud heard.
That's the horrifying implication drawn in the source. Those would be the last 2 words that he heard.
How did Wanda Cooper Jones react when she learned about that specific claim?
Just very, very heartbreaking, she said. Unimaginable.
There was another really controversial moment during the trial involving one of the defense attorneys, right?
Yeah, Kevin Go, representing Roddy Bryan, he made this objection. Objected to the presence of black pastors like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton sitting with the family in the courtroom.
What did he say?
Essentially, we don't want any more black pastors coming in here.
That caused an uproar.
Huge uproar. Called idiocy by commentators, set off an explosive response from the community. The result? Even more black pastors came down to Brunswick to show solidarity.
Wow. Okay, so after, 8 days of testimony, 23 witnesses.
The prosecution rested its case.
And then Travis McMichael decided to testify.
He did, which is always a big gamble for a defendant.
Why did he say he did it?
He said, I want to give my side of the story, to be able to say what happened from the way I see it.
And his testimony, basically.
He described the final moments, said Arbery grabs the shotgun and I believe I was struck. Claimed he was thinking of my son, shot because he had my gun. He struck me. It was obvious that he was attacking me, and if he would have got the shotgun from me, then it was, this is a life or death situation.
How did the cross-examination go?
It was powerful. The prosecutor pinned him down, had Arbery said anything, threatened him verbally, pulled a gun, shown any weapons, said a single word.
And Travis's answers?
No, he has not said anything yet, no. Not one time.
So the prosecutor pressed.
All he's done is run away from you, Travis. Run past me, yes ma'am, prosecutor. And you pulled out a shotgun and pointed it at him. Just laid it bare.
Did Gregory McMichael or Roddy Bryan testify?
No, they both chose not to take the stand.
Was that surprising, especially for Bryan?
Well, the analysis in the source suggests Bryan particularly maybe should have testified.
Why is that?
Because as a co-defendant, you often get lumped together unless you actively distinguish yourself. Brian didn't really know the McMichaels beforehand. He could have potentially explained his, spontaneous, maybe less premeditated involvement.
But by not testifying.
He missed that chance to tell his own story, create some distance from the others in the jury's eyes.
Okay, so before the jury got the case, closing arguments. And there was another shocking moment here.
Yeah, from Laura Hogue, one of Travis McMichael's attorneys. She attacked Ahmaud Arbery's appearance.
How?
Describing his khaki shorts with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
Seriously, what was the reaction to that?
Just a screeching halt, apparently. A collective gasp. A visceral response from people watching, widely seen as completely inappropriate, belittling the victim.
Yeah, the source says.
When you start attacking a dead young man, you're on very shaky ground. Just a really poor strategic move, it seems.
So all these moments in the courtroom, the limited talk about race inside, but the racist comments revealed outside. These defense tactics, attacking Arbery's character, objecting to pastors. How do you think that shaped the perception of the justice being sought?
Well, it felt like, didn't it, that even though they were the defendants, the victim, Ahmaud Arbery, was still sort of on trial himself in some ways. The attempts to smear him, the focus on trespassing, the toenails comment, it subtly, or maybe not so subtly, tried to shift blame or implied he somehow brought this on himself.
Which probably just amplified the public desire for a verdict that ignored all that.
Exactly. It put immense pressure on the jury to see past those tactics, to focus squarely on the actions of the accused that day. It made the verdict feel like a real test. Could the system deliver justice despite these attempts at distraction or victim blaming?
So the jury goes out to deliberate. How long do they take?
Just over 11 hours, spread over 2 days.
And the verdict.
Dramatic delivery in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Travis McMichael, guilty. Greg McMichael, guilty. William R. Bryan, guilty.
All three found guilty on multiple counts, including felony murder.
Yes.
Wanda Cooper-Jones. Her reaction.
Just profound relief, gratitude. She said, "It's been a long fight, it's been a hard fight, but God is good. And importantly, I never saw this day. He will now rest in peace."
And the jury itself, its makeup was significant.
Very significant, especially given the location. A jury of 11 whites and 1 black in the Deep South stood up in the courtroom and said that Black lives do matter. That quote captured the weight of it.
At the sentencing hearing, Wanda Cooper-Jones got to speak directly to the court, to the men convicted.
Yes. And she directly addressed that awful comment Laura Hogue had made in closing arguments.
What'd you say?
It was incredibly powerful. She said acknowledging Arbery wasn't perfect. He was messy. He sometimes refused to wear socks. Then, addressing Hogue's words, "I take good care of his good clothing. I wish he would have cut and cleaned his toenails before he went out for that jog that day. I guess he would have if he knew he would be murdered." Just devastating.
Absolutely devastating. What about Ahmaud Arbery's legacy beyond the trial?
It continues to grow. Wanda Cooper-Jones launched the Ahmaud Arbery Foundation back in 2020.
What does it do?
Promotes the creation of safe spaces for Black boys, and really anyone, to run without fear. Honors his memory in a positive way.
And Brunswick itself has the community reflected.
It seems so. The source mentions that if you go there now, you'll see murals of Ahmaud. It suggests the level of community introspection.
Like challenging their own perceptions.
Yeah, that sentiment captured was kind of like, you think we are this small southern town, but we've got it. We've got this race thing collected, We're not those people. And this case made people kind of reflect. And are we paying enough attention to each other?
And finally, there were federal charges too, right? Separate from the state trial.
Yes, very important. In August 2022, all 3 men were also convicted for federal hate crimes.
What were the sentences there?
The McMichaels both got additional life sentences. Roddy Bryan got 35 years.
And the Justice Department stands.
They declared unequivocally that this murder was prosecuted for what it was, a brutal, racially motivated hate crime. No ambiguity there.
So, this deep dive, it's taken us from what seemed like a quiet neighborhood incident, maybe a misunderstanding,
all the way to a case that just reverberated globally.
highlighting systemic issues, the power of video evidence, public scrutiny, all pushing towards justice.
Yeah, the whole journey of this case, from that stalled investigation, the initial lack of arrests, to the high-profile trial, the community response, and ultimately the convictions on both state and federal levels. It really emphasizes that the legal system can confront these deep biases.
But often needs that push, right? From counter evidence, from public demand.
Exactly. When pressed, when confronted, it can work. But it took a lot to get there.
So knowing what you now do, about the motivations, those initial reactions, the assumptions made, and then the eventual convictions. It leaves us with a question, doesn't it? What responsibility does each of us bear in challenging assumptions, both our own and others, and seeking truth, especially when information might be withheld or perspectives deliberately narrowed?
It's a crucial question to reflect on.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.